All right.
Yes,
So, are you ready for the next
segment, please?
All right. Social.
Social.
That means multiple relationships. Conduct. That means standardized interaction.
Conduct. Huh.
Behavior. That means social conduct.
Standardized behavior.
Imminent. That means likely soon.
Mm-hmm.
Intention. That means imminent behavior. An intention is idea that you plan to carry out.
Mm-hmm. Instead of just carrying out the plan.
Effectiveness. That means intended result.
Cool. Yeah. To see what happens, right? You got what you wanted, intended result.
Leadership. That means ahead of history. Effective leadership. That means imminent history.
Imminent history, which means history that is about to happen.
Yes, sir.
Effective leadership is making history that is about to happen.
Yes, sir.
And history is happening because I am developing myself. Me as a product can go through those stages.
So before today, what did you think effective leadership means?
The ability to inspire and invoke motivation.
And now, what?
Leadership is the ability to look in myself and change myself and notice myself and build upon. And instead of looking at others for some kind of buildup, it's like really just all for me to consider.
Actually, leadership is not about you at all.
Not the product, not...
Leadership is not necessary unless the workload is beyond your capability. If the workload requires only 50% of your effort and Jason, if it takes only 50% of your availability and mine and Jason, the whole group, then we don't need leadership.
Right.
Leadership is needed when the workload is 2 times more than available human resources. For example, our group is G4, 4 people, and it takes 8 persons to do the work. But we don't have 8, we have only 4. And in order to get the 4 of us to work like 8, we need to have leadership. If we only need to have 2 people in a group of 4, you don't need leadership. Am I making any sense?
If we only need 2 people in a group of 4, we don't need effective leadership.
Right. Leadership is necessary when the workload is beyond
the capability of the current group.
Yes.
Yeah. It has to go beyond the current parameters.
Yes.
It has to connect these.
Meaning that if you don't have the leadership, you cannot get people to work even if you pay them double, triple.
They just can't do it. It's a workload. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Leadership is necessary when money cannot buy extra results.
Wow, talk about just having the drive and force, creating so much that others need to help. That's leadership. Making so much out of my time, or so much of my time needs to be thought about by other people for me to continue the wake of changing people for the better. I can see that.
Can you give me one example
of the time I snowballed
of effective leadership
and created history?
Let me give you one example of effective leadership. Do you see that all the things that you and Jason and Alec and Elias did together is beyond my personal capability? Do you see that?
Yeah.
And I got you guys spend the time to help me do those things, did I not?
Exactly.
Did I pay any of you even a damn for?
No.
Isn't that effective leadership?
Quintessentially.
And that is the objective of this lesson. If you, Norman D. Baker, cannot bring in 5 more people the way Nick did and put them to work, you cannot prove to anyone that you have effective leadership.
I hear you. Gotta get people, gotta lead them, gotta show them that they have plenty to do. I have to be able to look at these people and say, you could be doing so much more right now. Let me help you get there. And then I can get other people there, and then you can show people.
That's how you can make them far more powerful.
Wow! By lighting that candle. Woo! By taking them in my stride. By just showing them, like, come check this thing out. It's built. It's ready. It's helping me. I can talk to you better. I can remember a time where clarity was keen. Wow. That was like an ineffable kind of flashback.
Effective global leadership. That means imminent human history.
Planned human history.
If you want to be an effective global leader, you have to show that human history is imminent because of you.
Because this product can see how much work everybody has, how much potential everybody has. I see the fact that a nomenclature will bring out so much in people, and I know how to get them to do it.
Making group history 2 years from now is not effective group leadership. Making human history 2 years from now is not effective global leadership.
So as a global
effective... Am I making any sense?
Yeah.
Because 2 years from now is not imminent.
It's not imminent. It's not about to happen. It's not abrupt.
Okay?
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Making group
Effective.
history.
Effective.
Making group history 2 months from now is not effective group leadership.
No, it's just group leadership.
Making human history 2 months from now is not effective global leadership.
It's just leadership.
Why is your leadership not effective last week? Because you did not write out the expected result, your vision for the group, for humanity. Why is your group leadership not effective last week? Because you did not write out the result expected of your group. And that's why the group history was not imminent last week. And that's why this week, the history of the group is not that which is derived from your vision.
Thank you.
Elaborate your thank you.
I just figured a way to tell people about my dream. And it's also my retirement, like very similar. Each of which share this overlapping idea of people being able to understand each other better. And in my retirement post blog, I actually said, a land where people can share and learn languages with each other. And that's a very innuendous, vague, ambiguous kind of term because it also represents our feelings. The feelings that we see and are proof of others going through the same experience that we are, with re-identifying, or for the first time, identifying how we feel. And with Thumoslang helping me identify how I feel and noticing how others are looking at themselves and developing and creating their own product and making history and putting themselves towards on the journey, hopefully to a leadership goal or stature. I think, wow, anybody in any field can do this. This is just my field.
Yes.
So I'm now understanding how this can be catered to the individual and how it's particularly catered to me at the moment. And my understanding came to the conclusion that by simply uniting people and having a camera on them and the right questions and the right terminology, which leads to the right nomenclature. And people can understand these questions being asked. And then they can ask them, and then they can show the questions, because self-identification is, I think a lot of people, and I definitely still have to work with. Where do I identify in this scenario, or where do I identify in this relationship? This has given me strong footing.
What surprised you the most so far in this sessions?
The layering to effective global leadership, and how it's a process that is happening everywhere, but there still is a way to kind of follow a path. It's not too crazy, like just collect myself, work hard, make something now, make something again, keep making things, and then be ready to use those things effectively on a global scale.
Ineffective leadership means volunteers are not utilized.
Volunteers.
In our case, the business department has workers, but no work carried out. That's not due to lack of labor, but leadership. Social, that means multiple relationships. Profit, that means return on investment. Capital, that means profit creation. Social capital, that means profit created by relationships. Ineffective leadership means friends are not utilized. In our case, many friends of Elias and their friends want to pitch in for Haven and Thumoslang and other purposes in his life, but they have not been introduced to Haven and Thumoslang and other purposes of his life. That's why his social capital is not getting larger and larger by the week.
Why?
I'm going to restate everything here. Ineffective leadership means friends are not utilized. Many friends of Elias and their friends want to pitch in for Haven and Thumoslang and other purposes in his life, but they have not been introduced to these things. That's why his social capital is not getting larger and larger by the week. That is an example of ineffective leadership.
Sounds like he's missing out, and I'm missing out on all these friends that are ready to work for me, that I talk to, that I've been talking to about this, but have yet to say, hey, you should come join this movement. You need to come join this movement. Let me talk to you about Thumoslang. I know I mentioned it once or twice. How about you come over, we have some coffee, we can meet Nick. That's what I gotta say. I gotta say, hey friends.
There are many people who would love to work for your future without pay. But they haven't been introduced into your life.
Into my character development, my product,
your business of the self.
Right. They're not even in my relations per se. And that's where I have to go back. That's a ladder, sir, all the way to the top of global leadership, effective global leadership.
5 years ago, 7 years ago, I came here without any family or friends here. And I used Thumoslang to create G4. That is effective leadership.
It's pretty strong.
Why can you not do the same for your life?
Right? Why can I not?
If I can, as an old, ugly-looking guy, use Thumoslang to create a group of people willing and able to work for my future, why cannot you, someone half my age, twice as good-looking, not become as productive, if not twice as productive as I am, but for your business of the self?
Because I'm biased to myself.
That's because you don't have effective leadership. The only way for you to measure effectiveness of your leadership is to look at how much workload your business of the self can carry. And if your business of the self carries only the workload that is done only by one and only one person, that's you, then you don't have effective leadership for your business of the self.
Right.
Am I making any sense?
100%, sir. Yeah. I need to be able to have more work. Absolutely. Way outside of... Did I read your mind? I did.
Okay. This is a very important point. Could you please explain to viewers this last point that's so important again? How do you know that you don't have effective leadership? That's the point that we need to really hammer in for viewers, for several viewers who are not really
understanding what leadership takes. Leadership, I don't have leadership because I'm not creating enough or showing my friends, family, how they could be working with and for me, like their potential. They have, as Nick used earlier, a lame capacity. I abbreviated or worded that a little different, and I need to notice, or I do notice, that these people are very capable, and I have to, and I haven't been asking them to help me with what my dream is, and they're more than happy to. They are very able people. I can imagine anybody helping me do this kind of stuff right now. But the fact that I haven't executed that decision or action, I haven't executed it, at all. Not at all. I do get around socially, media-wise. I talk to people. I'm tiptoeing into it, though. I'm not going fully with saying this is what we should be doing tomorrow. It's more like, here's my idea. It's a pretty cool idea, instead of bringing them to where the idea is, which is right here. Which is here in the sense that this is the moment when people look at themselves and say, me specifically, man, I didn't have a serious definition of effective leadership, global effective leadership, of history, of creativity, of a few things that obviously if I didn't have a great definition of, then I can't see in somebody. And I call that obvious, like, I don't think that is obvious, and that's why I need help with the business of myself. If it was so obvious, I would have been able to fix it. But managing my hardcore is pretty hardcore, and that's why we need two minds to look at things. To digress back to what I need to do as a leader is not necessarily have more research and work for people to do for me, but rather have a job for somebody. And that job is as real as sitting here and understanding a nomenclature. Sitting here and talking with another practitioner, Thumoslang, another member, G4, and realizing, oh my goodness, I need to figure myself out so that I can go live my dream. And I declared mine. I declared my career. I declared, it's more like felt, known, sensed that I have a big duty to take care of in life. For some people, their life mission is to take care of animals, to take care of people in hospitals. Mine is to take care of people on a global scale. And I need to start talking to people as such and say, this is a serious turn in my life that is having me look at myself and say, and put my foot in front of the next one, really using Thumoslang, my conversations, and in building the product that I am, Norman D. Baker. I'm not going to sit on this. I gotta look this head on. Goals forward.
Why is your group leadership not effective last week?
It wasn't effective last week because I wasn't giving people that I know who are capable of work.
Because you did not write. Stand up.
Sit down.
Sit down. Those are not the actions of leadership.
Writing is the action of a leader.
If you don't write, people don't understand you. If people don't understand you, they're not going to do anything for you.
And I got to be less constructive of my terminology, right, and broaden my sense that it is more communication also involved. I would really just say, oh, I got to write, and I would just write a bunch of this, and have half the thing filled up. But if I'm not communicating that, I'll never be an effective leader.
You're not an effective leader last week for the group because the group did not know what you expected of the group for this week.
So
you need to let us know what the imminent history is for the group. In order for us to fork history into existence right away.
Starting history is a pretty big deal. Is what we're doing right now.
If we don't know what you expect for the group to what kind of history do you want us to create for our group next week? If you don't write your vision for that history, you don't define the imminent history that the group has to produce within a week.
and I got to connect more. So to be able to start something. Oh my goodness.
If you were an effective leader last week, that means you were an effective leader last week. That does not mean that you will be an effective leader next week. If you want to become an effective leader next week, you have to write for new history.
Got to stay ahead of history.
Exactly. It's not a one-time deal. You cannot be a leader on a regular basis if you only write once.
Mm-hmm.
If you write once, you may become a leader once.
No kidding.
But being a leader once doesn't make you a leader on a regular basis. Do you begin to see why I'm writing every day so much?
And this is writing. Yeah, this is real writing. This is tagging and chronologically categorizing and doing. This is writing. I see what you mean. Gotta look at you as an effective leader.
Because of my writing. That's why Alec said yes in a hurry after he read the caribou story.
I like to.
Because of my writing.
Uh-huh.
That's why I'm making you feel uneasy about your lack of leadership. If I did not write, I cannot deliver this lecture at all. If I cannot deliver this lecture, I cannot affect your behavior. I cannot change your potential. I cannot lead. Everything begins with writing.
Everything.
Especially leadership. And if you don't write, you don't live the life of a human, but the life of an animal who uses his labor only. Because to become a human, you have to impact future generations. That's what makes you different from animal, is that you can affect future generation.
Right? Animals don't.
That's the only thing that's different. Animals can use tools. Just because you know how to use tools, it does not make you different from animal.
No, guess not. Right.
The only thing that makes you human is that you can affect future generation. You cannot do that without writing.
Can't affect future because there's no history. No history without writing. And history is in the definition of leadership.
Yes, sir.
And to create history, I need to.
And you're right. Writing the journal and keeping it to yourself is not the kind of writing we're talking about.
No, it's not.
I'm talking about writing the description of what is imminent for the group history that you want us to think about. And and this lecture, this writing that I'm delivering to you right now,
this lecture,
spelling out this imminent history for your life. You need to do what I did to bring in half a dozen people into your group, your family, that are interested in working for your business of the self without pay. Totally possible when you align their ideals with yours.
Synergy.
Yes, sir.
Sounds really creating a relationship with somebody.
Yes, sir.
An indisposable relationship.
Yes, sir.
It's family, huh?
Yes, sir.
There's a lot of connections, man. A lot that I might not. I definitely almost even shied away from in parts of my life. Feeling my growth and knowing where I can grow is very inspiring.